Seriously, it just feels like the Boston Red Sox are trying to be in the Grav Gaffes at this point. Hello guys, welcome back to Grav's Gas, the series where we take a look at the worst and most embarrassing MLB plays throughout the last week of baseball. As I said before, the Boston Red Sox will be featured today for sure, but we got a bunch of amazing plays right before the All-Star break. So throughout the last week of baseball, what were the most embarrassing and worst MLB moments? Well, make sure you watch till the end for all the greatest clips, and make sure you hit that subscribe button to the Sportsnet YouTube channel for the best sports coverage around. And without further ado, let's get into the Grav Gaff shenanigans of this week. Now let's start off the Grav Gaffes this week, of course, with all the best Boston Red Sox gaffes of this past week. If you're a Red Sox fan, look away. But the first play of this week comes from the Red Sox and Rays series, and one of my favorite moments of this past week. This one coming from just a horrible Strom play. Just watch and see the chaos.
And this one hits Strom, loses his glove, throw to first is wide. Here comes the tying run in, over to third base. And now the ball loose again, and Mejia's going to score. Walls winds up at second. How about all of that?
What a mess.
And the Rays take a 3-2 lead.
So the ball goes off Strom. He launches it way past first base, not even close, while the runner is basically almost there when he's throwing it, and everything happens. 2 runs score later, and I just feel like if my little league coach saw me do that, saw me do what the Red Sox just did, I wouldn't see another day. I wouldn't live another day. But you know what? The Red Sox did not learn their lesson. In the next game, the next day, the Red Sox made another horrible fundamental mistake.
Fashion. Low breaks and the pitch hit on the ground, out of the reach of Downs and threw into right. Lowe will go to third. Now the throw back toward the middle of the infield. Lowe's going to score. That ball loose. And Josh Lowe, turning third, found the afterburner and scores another run for the Rays with that ball loose on the infield.
Sloppy, just sloppy Boston play. It cost them a couple of runs last night. It's going to cost them another run here tonight. There he is and off and running. Jeter Downs is not giving up any ground. So while that you had that hit and run field, Downs was there. Look at Linares. He's saying, hey, listen, get aggressive. And Boston not having much of a clue there on that whole play. That ball out to Ref Snyder, kind of right there, assuming. Don't ever assume.
Kudos to Josh Lowe in this play. He was absolutely putting on the Jets, but the Red Sox just with an awful play in the outfield, holding onto the ball, doing a horrible job of ball management, and again, in a 2-game span, the Red Sox get just destroyed by these fundamental mistakes. Still, I feel like the Boston Red Sox are trying to get in this video at this rate. And to support my theory, let's go on to the Yankees and Red Sox series where they had another amazing moment and another amazing fundamental mistake.
And he squares and bunts right back to Houck. The throw to third, it goes into left field. Here comes Torres, he'll score to tie it. Moving to third is Carpenter, and moving to second is IKF. It's a 4-4 game on the throwing error by Houck.
It goes right to Hawk, and he just destroys that baseball, flutters it right past third base, right near to the stands. And when you're up 1 run, when you're in the bottom of the 9th, I don't think that's exactly what you should be doing. Just a thought for Boston. But the fact that this happened in the worst moment possible is just amazing. Now, it is good news for the Red Sox because they're actually on the better side of things with this next Grav Gaff with the Yankees trying to top everything. It was 4-4, tied, runner on third, 2 outs. Bogarts was on third base, and then New York did this.
In a tough spot, the 0-2. Bad out from the plate. Here it comes. He's trying to score, and he will. He dives in. Wow. The catcher, Trevino, never held on to the ball.
Another good base running play by Bogarts. I mean, just absolutely brilliant. It never was intrigued in his glove, and he takes advantage of it beautifully. But the fact that the Yankees were so close, they were in a 2-1, they were in a 1-2 count, 2 outs, runner on third. They were this close to perfection. and just let it all go away for the Grav Gaff. But you know what? Let's move on to the really funny Marlins and Pirates series. This time around, I feel like it was just a given that we'd see something in this series. But the first clip I want to show you is from Jake Marisnick, just giving us so much entertainment.
What is going on? Marisnick breaks for the plate.
Wow. You talk about...
Did he think the ball got in the way?
I think he might have thought Newman swung. And he was maybe anticipating a throw to first. He's maybe thinking that he offered at it, and so he offered. They got to finish the play. So he thought maybe he'd be sneaky. But ran ourselves out of an inning.
So on this play, I'm guessing that Marisnick thought that we could potentially see the catcher throw to Gore, go for first base, throw it to first base, and that he'd be able to steal home in that situation. But at the same time, there was no check swing there. There was nothing that happened, and Marisnick was just fishing. He was just on a line. It was just horrible. How do you do that? How do you do that? And Marisnick just, his face said it all. It was just beautiful. And you know what? More horror for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's go on to this next play, and I want to give you some context here. Eventually, the Marlins would make this such a crazy finale, but they didn't need to tie it up in the bottom of the 10th, and Aguilar got the job done.
There goes Birdie. That's a line drive, base hit center field. That'll tie the game, and Birdie ends up on third. Now the winning run is not...
Now the important moment is after that. With the bases loaded in the bottom of the 10th, with a 4-4 score, the Pirates have the chance to close it all out and get this game still into the 11th inning. But they did the impossible and just said, hey, let's create one of the best plays in baseball with the walk-off wild pitch.
Kicks away, here comes Aguilar, delay gets it, and the Marlins are gonna win it as soon as he steps on home plate. It's a Marlins walk-off win. A wild pitch and a wild finish, 5-4.
Now, personally for me, I have not seen this in a very long time, and I just got my renewed interest in one of my favorite plays in baseball, the walk-off wild pitch. Absolutely perfect execution by the Pirates here, though, and the Grav Gaff, just spectacular. Now, the Yankees also have a wild pitch walk-off of their own against the Reds, and in some ways, it was even funnier.
And the pitch. And that one gets away as well. Here comes LeMahieu. He scores! A walk-off wild pitch, and the Yankees win it 7-6. The birthday boy slides across with the winning run, and the Yankees win this one 7-6 in the Bronx.
Now, with the Marlins one, you could tell how hyped that stadium was, but with Yankee Stadium for a walk-off wild pitch, it felt awfully quiet, and DJ LeMahieu did not help things. He just kind of walked off like he just got struck out and had an 0-for-4 game. Instead of walking it off for New York, he just kind of like, okay, let's get this over with. But you know what? For the Reds, it's a great Grav Gaff. You can't complain. Now, another series that gave us some classic moments was the Brewers and Giants series. This one was amazing. It was such a close game. It was in the bottom of the 10th. It was 2-2. There were runners on third and second, and this is what ended up happening.
Go ahead, run. 90 feet away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Davis, slow roller. And this is going to stay fair, and this will be a base hit for Davis. Yelich scores, and the Brewers have the lead in the 10th inning.
It just shows how crazy and cruel and awful baseball can be. It was such a perfect execution play by the Brewers, but let's be honest, that was lucky. And San Francisco got the worst end of it. But you know what? The Giants might have had the last laugh here. In the next game, it was a 1-1 tie, 2 outs, 1-2 count, bases loaded, with the crowd erupting. This is what happened.
Is that a balk? They just called a balk against Gustave, and the Giants will take the lead.
I mean,
Pat Holberg was fairly definitive about it. Gustave was looking around like, what do you mean?
That is...
Holy mama. Okay, let's break this down. Again, bases loaded, 1-2 count, 2 outs, with a chance one pitch away to keep it tied and to keep this game going. Perfect execution by the Brewers. I mean, again, they saw an amazing Grav gaff in the last game go for them, but now they went and just gave the Giants a good one. I mean, they were just being a kind, wholehearted team that just wanted to make things even. Now let's go on to the last Grav gaff of today's video, and one of my favorites, this time featuring the Mets and the Cubs, and we got ourselves another classic Chicago Cubs moment.
And a throw to first, and Lindor's picked off. Marte waiting, now breaks for the plate. The tag is not made, and Marte scores! Lindor got around the tag from Horner, and Marte scored.
Now, I might be biased a little bit as a Mets fan, but this is one of my favorite plays of the year. They try to pick off Lindor at first. He ends up just completely bodying that chance. As it goes to second base, he completely weaves over the second baseman, gets to second, and as it is happening, Marte comes home from third base, and it is just perfection. I mean, this is what Lindor can do. He can always do stuff like this, but just the reaction of this Cubs fan right after. This is a classic Cubs moment, and I couldn't be happier that we got another taste. And the fact this happened in the top of the first too, I mean, it was 2 outs, 1-2 count. What is it with teams with 1-2 count, 2 outs, doing Grav gaffes? But that will be it for today's Grav gaffes. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Comment down below, what was your favorite Grav gaff of the week, and what did we miss? Make sure you share this video with your friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.